Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, and closely following Warner Brothers Discovery. I've made more than 100 videos based on these guys just in the last 4 months, but things keep getting stranger and stranger since James Gunn was announced as the co-studio head for DC Studios. One weird announcement after another, and it's not just a weird announcement, it's a weird announcement announced in a weird way just on his Twitter. For example, James Gunn is writing an unannounced TV series for DC. Okay. Well, what's the series about? What's the announcement? Why are you telling us this if you're not going to tell us anything about it? Oh, because he's just writing about what his day is. You know, he also sends pictures of his food on social media. I've noticed that too. I didn't know people were still doing that. I guess they do. This is not how you're supposed to be making announcements for major projects or anything related to DCU is very important if you're releasing this interconnected universe. It's not supposed to be announced via a tweet, and they're also not announcing anything. They're telling you he's writing something, but what is he writing? We know he's writing a young version of Superman, which we knew about after they told us that Henry Cavill was going to stay as Superman, but now he's writing that. He's also writing this unannounced DC TV show. We don't know about any other writers working on any other specific projects really for the DCU yet, not that I've seen. We just know that James Gunn is having fun, writing whatever he wants, and basically just occasionally mentioning things in a non-appropriate way on Twitter. It's gotten pretty crazy. And when David Zaslav was the main figure I was aware of from Warner Brothers Discovery, it gave me a sense that there were good things going on with the company because David Zaslav, he has an extensive history in focusing on brands, on focusing on common sense business activities, even though a lot of the cancellations people didn't like, but they're really good business reasons for it. A lot of people in the entertainment industry are starting to follow what Warner Brothers Discovery is doing. We're going to hear very soon about announcements from Disney about massive layoffs, things that Warner Brothers Discovery has now announced that they're basically done with their massive cuts and massive layoffs because they addressed them so aggressively in 2022. But this is the nuttiest thing, James Gunn. Everything James Gunn does, and I don't know why he's allowed to do this, except that I guess as a co-studio head, they've given him completely free reign over the DCU. Let's get into this article about the story that he's writing, the next project he's working on. Even though we've got basically no information about it, we'll get the most information that we can. There's a couple of other stories that I want to cover. Joker becoming pregnant, which is not directly related to James Gunn, at least as far as I know, but I wouldn't be surprised. And Gal Gadot leaving as Wonder Woman, but then Gal Gadot staying as Wonder Woman. All determined by tweets from James Gunn, of course. Let's get into this article. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. James Gunn is writing an unannounced DC TV series. DC Studios co-chair and CEO James Gunn confirms that he's currently penning scripts for a DC Universe TV show not yet announced to the public, except he did just announce it to the public. DC Studios co-chair and CEO James Gunn just revealed that he's writing an as of yet unannounced TV series in the DC Universe. Gunn teased the mystery DCU project's existence on Twitter, noting that he was a third of the way through penning scripts for the show. It's the latest in an ever-expanding list of productions that the DC Studios boss is directly involved in. So he's just basically everything is around him. Now, this is a little too much James Gunn for me. Let him produce something good. Let him do something impressive. And less I'm working on all these projects. Jim Shooter did actually write all of the Valiant 1.0 comics. I don't know if you're familiar with Valiant 1.0. He wrote almost all of those Valiant issues when that Valiant Comics universe was launched in the early 1990s, which was great for continuity. But I don't know. I'm very skeptical about James Gunn, and I'm getting more skeptical about DCU now. These projects include the second season of HBO Max series Peacemaker and a Superman movie headlined by a young incarnation of the Man of Steel. As Gunn mentions in his tweet, he's also currently juggling his DC Studios commitments and post-production on his final Marvel Studios outing, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It is weird to hear him talk about Marvel projects when he's supposed to be focused on DC projects. Of course, he needs to occasionally make some kind of a mention, but it really is kind of strange. News of another DCU project spearheaded by Gunn follows another public statement by the filmmaker regarding the status of the shared universe's slate of movies and TV shows. Gunn tweeted in January 2023 that he and DC Studios co-chair and CEO Peter Safran will unveil some, but not all, of the DCU titles currently in the works by the end of January. What's more, Gunn confirmed that the DCU roadmap he and Safran have developed should yield as much as 10 years worth of content. I mean, it's basically just a plan to publish a large number of films. James Gunn talks Wonder Woman and The Flash. Gunn would later divulge that the first 3 of these years will feature Wonder Woman in some capacity. Responding to a fan, he debunked claims that the iconic DC superhero won't appear in the initial phase of DCU productions. The filmmaker was slightly coyer regarding another fan-favorite character, though. Asked whether reports that the current Flash actor Ezra Miller will continue to portray the Scarlet Speedster going forward are true, Gunn replied that he wasn't aware of the latest buzz surrounding Miller's future. Gunn has stirred up considerable controversy since taking over the reins of DCU in October 2022. Shazam! Fury of the Gods star Zachary Levi has nevertheless thrown his support behind Gunn, insisting he and Safran are the right people to shepherd the franchise. Now, what would he know about it? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Gunn and Safran are the right guys? I mean, I'm optimistic. I'm always going to be optimistic. And Gunn and Safran aren't completely on their own in all their decisions, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think these are the right 2 people to be heading up the DCU? Zachary Levi commented that they're the right people to shepherd the franchise. He said, Gunn understands comic books, guys. He understands world building. He understands how to do right by the canon and also by the characters and also by the audience. And DC Studios CEO Peter Safran is there too. He's an incredible diplomat and business person. I've worked with him now for years. Just breathe. It's going to be okay. It's going to be better than okay. Peter Safran has a production company that has the most successful horror franchise ever, called The Conjuring. Big money maker, people like it. He understands a lot of business, but I haven't heard anything from Peter Safran. Not even like mentioned in a tweet or an article or anything. No interviews. I assume he's still working for the DCU, but I don't know. If anyone else has heard anything about Peter Safran, let us know in the comments below, because we haven't seen anything. This abomination, how the Joker became pregnant in DC's latest comic. Look, this is a one crazy story. Basically, Zatanna threw a spell on him to make him pregnant because he wanted to have a family with her. It's just an abomination. The art isn't good. The idea is a wild idea. Does it make any sense? It doesn't really make any sense. I don't know what they could do next. I don't know what they could do next. And here's one person saying, hope they plan to adapt this storyline in Joker 2 in the film. Sure, they may as well. They may as well. This I mentioned earlier, Gal Gadot's time as Wonder Woman is over. This was from 4 weeks ago. The problem I'm having with James Gunn the most is I don't like his updates on Twitter. I don't know how you feel in the comments below if you would tell me. It's as if these offhanded things about like he's making a decision about like, well, look, this is a picture of what I had for lunch, and hey, while we're at it, we're going to pull Henry Cavill off of Superman. Oh, and yeah, you know what, Gal Gadot? Yeah, she's probably going to still be with us. We can't really get into details right now, but yeah, we're not letting her go. We don't have any new Wonder Woman films planned. Oh, but you know what? We are actually going to do one, but we're not sure who's going to play it, because we might go with a younger woman. Now, he didn't say that, but just his handling of the Superman situation with Henry Cavill was just outrageous. So, for just a few weeks ago, Gal Gadot's time as Wonder Woman is over. This is all over social media. So James Gunn is on social media. He sees this going around. He didn't debunk this 4 weeks ago. If it is to be debunked. This came out recently, Gal Gadot returning as Wonder Woman sooner than expected. James Gunn debunked a rumor on Twitter that Wonder Woman won't appear in the next 3 years, leading to speculation that Gal Gadot will be back soon. Now, really, if James Gunn was in any way like any kind of normal person, he would understand that after the Henry Cavill thing, people were really upset to see Henry Cavill no longer be part of the DCU as Superman, so he could at least make a confirmed statement to say, hey, it's our plan to keep working with Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman over the next 3 years. Even if it didn't come to fruition, if it's your plan to do that, you may as well let people know. Give them some certainty about the franchise that they're interested in. Because what I'm noticing is they're going to have some problems with these DC films. Already people don't want to see Aquaman because of Amber Heard, and because they know, like, Aquaman's not going to continue. Flash, people are upset about Ezra Miller because they think not only are they going to still have Ezra Miller be in Flash, but apparently there's a lot of talk about Ezra Miller continuing as the Flash. Although he may not continue, maybe it's just for publicity until the movie comes out. I would kind of understand that. That's a complicated one, I'll grant them that. But if they have any conclusive information about any of these actors working on the films. It would be really appropriate to make a legitimate public statement, and not on Twitter, on stationery. Send out a press release from DC Studios. Makes you wonder if they even have letterhead. I don't know what's going on with these guys. That's why I title this WTF WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery. I don't really know what's going on. A couple months ago, I know some people were wondering, like, well, maybe they'll just license out the comics. And I had said, no, you know what? I don't think there's any chance they would license out the comics because there's a lot they can get out of the comics. I mean, just in any logical way. But I will say, after what I've seen James Gunn doing for DC Studios, not creating any certainty for the brands, not giving people any confidence about people working on the projects. The only person I'm aware of that's working on upcoming DCU content is James Gunn writing whatever scripts he wants for himself for his own studio. It's like a playpen. So I think they could license out the comics now. I think that financially, basically, the company will do just fine. James Gunn, he does seem to understand world building. He does seem to understand a schedule. He's going to stick within the budgets and limitations that are given to him. But creatively, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like anybody remains who understands what a universe actually is and understands like communicating appropriately with the fans. Can you imagine if Stan Lee was in this position? Would Stan Lee ever like create confusion about characters, actors, artists deliberately like that? He always made fans feel comfortable caring about the characters and the comics. And that's what you want to do when you're in charge of an important brand like the DCU, when you're in charge of what used to be an important brand, Marvel. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, this is just a complete mass confusion. It seems like James Gunn is just basically writing all of his own projects, doing whatever he wants, not making any official announcements. Let me know what you think of that, please. Also, if you have any comments, like, do you care if Gal Gadot comes back as Wonder Woman? I'd certainly like to see it. I think even if she's going to have small appearances in upcoming films, they should spoil that now so people have something to look forward to. Let me know if you agree with that as well. Please be sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.